The Toyota Supra is now available with a 6-speed manual transmission. How will this affect its highway fuel economy rating? Today, we're going to find out. This is Chris here with Daily Motor, and today we've got the real-world highway fuel economy test on the 2023 Toyota Supra 6-speed manual. Before we get started, let's hop out and take a look at it. And here it is. This particular Supra is finished in Stratosphere. It's about 59 grand, and I think if I were to get a new Supra, I'd have it in this blue color. It looks quite nice. Now, before we start this, I want to let all of you know that if you haven't already seen our video on the automatic Supra, Charlie was able to achieve 35 MPG with that car. So we shall see if we can match that today in the manual Supra. EPA rates at about 4 MPG lower, so we'll have to see if that is actually true at highway speed. So let's go ahead and get started. So then, why do we run this test? Well, the EPA's fuel economy test, which gives this 6-speed manual Toyota Supra 27 MPG on the highway, only averages 48 miles per hour. And we know that some people like to take their cars on actual road trips. So what we're gonna do today is go out 50 miles and back 50 miles, averaging 70 miles per hour for a more real world figure. A couple of things worth noting for today's test. Outside temperature is 53 degrees Fahrenheit. We're going to be running the climate control inside the cabin at 73 degrees auto. Tire pressures have been set to their factory door placard indicated 38 PSI cold, and we'll be using the same gas pump both times using the same 3-click filling method to get the most accurate results possible. Let's hop out, grab our first fill. Just under 5 gallons going in there for our first fill. Climate control is on 73 auto. We've got our trip reset here on the cluster, as you can see. Let's go ahead and set off. Only 2 different drive modes here in the Toyota Supra, normal or sport. And of course today we will be running in normal mode. Highway is just up the road here. Get merged on. Now, the purpose of this test is not to hypermile. I'm simply going to merge onto the highway here, set the cruise control to a GPS indicated 72 miles per hour, and just drive like any normal person would. I'm not going to be doing any hypermiling or drafting or anything like that. I'm just going to get merged on here safely. Now, usually BMWs run a little bit fast on the speedo, so I usually like to go 2 miles per hour over, and sure enough there, that translates to our 72 on the GPS. So, what do you need to know about the Supra as far as highway driving goes? Well, I actually took this exact car on a road trip to Hocking Hills last month, and it was not as bad as I was expecting. And when I say bad, I mean it's a little bit cramped in the Supra, it's a little dark, and you don't have a ton of amenities in here. You don't have adaptive cruise, you don't have lane keep assist, anything like that. But that's okay. This car shouldn't have to have all of those things. It's a sports car, and it really takes the sports car formula to the next level with just the way that this car performs, the way it's shaped, the way it's kind of a cockpit in here, and I mean, it's just the way that it is here in the Supra. So I'm expecting to see somewhere around high 20s, low 30s for MPG. When I took it on our trip, we were averaging slightly higher speeds, but it was doing high 20s, low 30s, just like I said. So I'm going to go ahead and get settled in here, and I'll catch up with you all once I am towards the end of my drive in the 6-speed manual Supra. Wrapping up our drive here in the 6-speed manual Toyota Supra, and indicated on the cluster 31 MPG, so 4 MPG higher than EPA's highway estimate. Just about what I expected, similar number to what I saw when I took this thing down to Ohio the other week. And overall, it's been a pretty good journey here in the Supra. No real complaints, no driver aids, but we mentioned that earlier on, but can't really fault the Supra for that. NVH, not too bad. It's not super loud in here. I think it's probably because this thing is shaped so slippery that you don't really get much wind noise. A little bit of road noise from these Michelins, but overall, pretty dang good experience here. This JBL sound system is excellent for a car in this class. It almost sounds like they may have retuned it a bit for the 23 model year. I noticed this on my trip, and that has been validated on tonight's drive. I was had some music playing pretty loud, and it sounded pretty dang good. Otherwise, though, I mean, no real complaints in here. The seat is supportive. Infotainment does a pretty good job. So I'm going to finish out my last little bit here, and I will update you once I have brimmed the tank on the 23 Supra 6-speed manual. 2.921 gallons going in there for our final fill. Of course, worth mentioning, we used 93 octane, as that is what EPA tests the Supra on, and it is what they recommend here, as you can see. Okay, let's hop in and see how we did. Today's trip was 94.69 miles. We'll go ahead and divide that by the 2.921 gallons of premium fuel that we put into the Supra, and that gives us 32.4 MPG. Pretty accurate with what we were reading out here on the cluster at the end, 31.2. So I'd feel comfortable rewarding this Supra with 32 MPG, just 3 MPG less than we got with the 8-speed automatic car when we tested that, or when Charlie tested that just about 2 years ago. Now we'll multiply this by 13.7, as that is our fuel tank capacity. And that gives you an effective highway cruising range of 440 miles. So pretty decent cruising range here for this little sports car in 32 MPG. I mean, decently impressive for the 6-speed manual car. Just about what I was expecting, honestly. And, you know, anything with this B58 inline 6 is bound to get over 30 MPG. So there you go, 32 MPG, 440 miles of effective highway cruising range in the 6-speed manual Supra. If you want to learn more about this Supra, make sure you check the link in the description. That'll take you to our other videos on it. But as for today, that will wrap it up for the fuel economy test. Thank you all so much for watching. This has been Chris here with Daily Motor, and as always, drive on.